Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I'll show you how to make this beautiful sketchbook using Coptic stitch method. We'll cover the materials, step-by-step instructions, and common mistakes to avoid. Whether you're a new bookbinder or looking to refine your skills, this tutorial has you covered. So grab your materials and let's get started. We are going to use a 2mm bookboard and handmade Lokta paper. You can also use pattern papers. These are my pattern paper collection that works well with the glue and it's available on my shop. I released a new collection every 3 weeks, so feel free to check out. I'll dive into the details later, but for now you can find everything you need in the description below. I'm using a 6x6 block with cardstock to mark the cover for convenience. So our cover page is gonna be 6 inches by 6 inches. A quilter's ruler is also very handy for this. When cutting the board, it's safer to use a metal ruler to avoid cutting your hand. Apply medium pressure and run the knife a few times until you achieve a clean cut. This might take a while, so be patient. I'm not satisfied with the cut edges, so I'm going to sand the corners evenly to make the cover smooth and neat. Remember, it's always good to keep your work mat clean to avoid stains on your book during the bookmaking process. Use a sheet of paper or a thin plastic film underneath whenever you're sanding or working with glue. Today we are using handmade Lokta paper for the cover, known for its delicate quality, popular among bookmakers. Handling glue can be tricky, especially for beginners, so I recommend starting with the pattern paper that's at least 165 GSM in thickness. I will talk about the papers in a different episode later. Cut the paper 1 inch wider and 1 inch taller than the bookboard to ensure perfect fit. For the inside cover, cut the paper half an inch shorter on both sides. For the signatures, I'm using 5 sheets of 12 by 18 inch watercolor paper, that is 300 GSM. You can choose any type of paper for the inside pages based on your book's purpose. From one sheet, I can create 3 6 by 6 signatures, totaling 15 signatures in all. I'll use 14 for the book and the extra one as a guide to mark the sewing holes. When cutting the paper, avoid applying too much force as it may tear. Instead, use medium pressure and make multiple strokes to cut the pages cleanly. Thick papers can be difficult to fold neatly without scoring, as they may crease unevenly. Use an awl with light pressure to make score lines on the fold. Fold the pages towards the opposite direction. Then use a bond folder to achieve a crisp edge. You can also use the knife, and it becomes easier once you master the right amount of pressure. This skill develops with practice over time. I'm going to combine 2 signatures together to reduce the number of stitches needed for the book, which will save time. Stack all the signatures together to prepare for sewing. Notice that the edges may not align perfectly. You can use a knife or a guillotine to trim the edges. If using a knife, proceed slowly with light pressure to avoid uneven cuts, which can be time-consuming. So many bookbinders opt for a guillotine for cleaner cuts and efficiency. I will create a separate video later on using a guillotine and link it to this section. I'm taking the extra signature that was left as a guide and marking 1 inch from the top and the bottom edges of the signatures, and then 2 inches in from those marks. I'm using a moderate strength awl to pierce the sewing holes by simply holding the signatures. Now insert the guide inside the pages and align. Then continue to pierce the holes. Ensure the holes are well pierced to ease the sewing process later. This is a book piercing wedge, a tool commonly used by bookbinders. You can use this tool to ensure the holes are pierced exactly on the fold. Once you're done, place a heavy weight on the top of the signatures and leave it for a few hours. Gluing the cover can be messy, so pay careful attention. You can use either PVA glue or Elmer's school glue. I suggest starting with the Elmer's glue since it's easier to work with than PVA glue. Do not apply too much glue, as it will warp the board and tear the paper. Ensure the entire bookboard is covered with a thin layer of glue in the end. Always spread the glue towards the corners to allow any excess to spread evenly. When gluing the board to the paper, have a squeegee or a bone folder nearby. Glue the bookboard to the paper, leaving ½ an inch away from the edges of the Lokta paper. Turn the bookboard around and carefully run the squeegee through the cover to avoid wrinkles. Be very gentle during this process. You can use a corner tool to achieve nice edges as it cuts precisely at a 45-degree angle. If you don't have one, you can use your ruler, ensuring the angle is approximately 45 degrees. This step is crucial for achieving clean and neat edges. Using a small glue brush for the corner is convenient. Apply enough glue to the edges, especially to the corner cuts. Then rub the edge against the mat to ensure a tight bond. You can also use the squeegee or bond folder for this step. Press the corners. Repeat the same steps. Once you're done, insert a parchment paper or a thin plastic between the covers and leave them under a heavy weight for a few hours. We'll continue with the book sewing in part 2.